Hi, hello. I hope you are doing well. Today is 20th December, and I am going to give you a second lecture on how to memorize the high frequency words for the preparation of GRE test. Let's begin. Yesterday we talked about few words that fall in the domain of emotional unpredictability. Yesterday we learned six words that were linked with emotional unpredictability. Let's recall them. If a person is emotionally unpredictable, we know there is a word that is called capricious. And if a person is capricious, there is a probability that his mind gets fickle, and there is a word in English. Fickle is a word itself. There is another word in English for a person like him, whimsical. And if a person is full of whims, it means the person is full of fanciful ideas. This is we learned yesterday. Now let's move forward and look into other dimensions of emotional unpredictability. If a person is unstable and consequentially his mind gets fickle, it implies that it lacks mental gravity. There is a lack in his character. That is the reason his mind get to one dimension to another dimension at the same time. This is called the lack of mental gravity. And for that, there is a word in English that is called fickle. And if a person is fickle, there is a probability that he lives in his fanciful ideas. This is an extended domain, okay? And if a person lives in his fanciful ideas, there is a word in English. Fantastic. You have heard about this word so many times. It sounds very good, but it has a negative connotation. Yeah, being fantastic is not a good idea. Being fantastic means that you live extravagantly fanciful ideas. Like your mind is full of extravagantly fanciful ideas. So all these words that we have studied today is somehow linked what we have studied yesterday. All these words come under the ambit of emotional unpredictability. Go higher and higher, you find a different word. Okay, let's go higher and higher. Let's unpack other dimensions with respect to emotional unpredictability. Look, if you are emotionally unpredictably not stable, you are not going to restrain yourself. You are not going to, you know, restrain your feelings, restrain your thoughts. Then consequentially, you would become despo, despotic. There is a word in English that is called despotic. Despo से, okay, it has a negative connotation. Despo यहाँ से drive हुआ है, despotic से. Then savageness. जब आप इमोशनली स्टेबल नहीं हैं तो फिर आप वाइल्ड हो जाएंगे. फेराल, क्रूअल्टी, ट्रूसलेंस, tyranny. All these are the extended domains of emotionally unpredictable person for a different frequency. So that's it. That's all. Thank you very much. Okay, Let's unfold other dimensions of emotional unpredictable person. I would say if a person is emotionally unpredictable and he is not able to exercise his controls, he is not able to restrain himself, he has lose his self control, there is a probability that he might get rude with himself or with the others or the people around him. Then there is a word in English for that kind of rudeness that is called gruff. Gruff, gruff. Then there is another word, surly, Surly, vociferous and rude. Vociferous and rude. An emotionally unpredictable person gets rude and loud at the same time. But there's a word in English that is called vociferous, boisterous, clamorous. Three words: vociferous, boisterous, and clamorous. The synonyms for an emotionally rude person. And if a person is casually rude, there is another word, insolence. For those who are casually rude, I mean, they're full of insolence. Then there is another word, impertinence. What? Impertinence. मैंने किसी की बात मानता, ये होता है impertinent होना. जिद्दी, obstinate. What do you think? To become to practice insolence and to become an insolent person, is it a wise decision? Is it a good thing? No. This is called impudence. This is called impudence. Yeah. Okay. Let's unpack further the extended more dimensions of rudeness. If a person is rude in manner or uncivil in speech, there is a word in English that is called crabbed. Crabbed. Yeah. Crabbed. Crab nahi, crabbed. Then there is another word, churlish. Churlish. Mean. मतलबी. इसलिए तो रूड है अपनी बातों में, कोई मतलब ही है. So let's go further. Let's see how the word rude is used with respect to the treatment. If a person is rude in his treatment with himself or the person or the people around them, there is a word in English that is called indignity. Indignity. Affront. Rude treatment. There's a word affront. But do not confuse, rudeness with roughness. There's a difference. रफ का मतलब है कोर्स होना. ह्यूमरस भी रफ हो सकता है टू सम एक्सटेंट. क्रूड होना, राइबोल्ड होना, राइबोल्ड, RIBOLD. दीज आर द सिनोनिम्स फॉर कोर्सनेस. सख्त होना, सख्त. मैनर्स का ख्याल ना करना, क्रूड हो जाना, अनसिविल हो जाना. सो ऑल दीज वर्ड्स are used interchangeably. So the next dimension which I am going to unleash to you guys is like linked to uncertainty. Yeah. Look, if a person is not emotionally stable, let's say, there is a word that is called capricious, another word whimsical. He might get prone towards randomness because his mind gets figured na. So resultantly what will happen? Extravagantly fanciful ideas, there is a word in English that is called grotesque. Grotesque, ajeeb. So being fantastic implies ajeeb. Irregular behavior, eccentricities, eccentric behavior, abnormal patterns, this is called being fantastic. So, do you want to become a fantastic person? No. Being fantastic is not a good idea. Let's move forward. The word grotesque is used in different contexts. Remember, it has a negative connotation, but it is widely used in so many dimensions. Let's say a grotesque imitation. A grotesque imitation. There's a word in English that is called emulate. बहुत ज़्यादा किसी की नकल उतारना बुरे तरीके से. That is called emulate. 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 And when there is a word in English for imitation, there is another similar word for imitation that is called parody, mockery. And there are so many other words. There is another word that is called burlesque, BURLESQUE, burlesque. These are the synonyms for grotesque, travesty, parody, mockery. Okay, hold on here. When you say mockery, what comes to your mind? To make fun of somebody? Okay, very fine. But there's a word in English for this proper thing. I mean, when you make fun of somebody, there's a word for in English, and that is called derision. DERISION, derision, ridicule, spoof, flout, jeer. So these are few words that are used interchangeably for the word mockery. And if the mockery is done in a grotesque and burlesque manner, then there is a word in English that is called emulate. This is what I have to say. Okay?